if you want to represent yourself, you're entitled to do that, right? But yeah, well, I like to tell people it's like brain surgery. When you need brain surgery, when you need heart surgery, are you going to do that on yourself? Because you're not trained, you don't know how to perform open heart surgery. Same thing with the law. You're not trained in it. I mean, I'm assuming that you didn't go to law school, did you? How far did you get in school?
I graduated school. I went to some college.
How far did you get?
2 years. I got certificates. I mean, not through college, but I went to school.
Okay. So we're in the middle of trial now. And so I don't have the time to go through all of what they're called Faretta warnings to see whether you should represent yourself. I'm happy to do that. Why don't we delay it off a week? Are you working at this time?
Yeah, and I stay in Austin. I don't live in Houston, so.
What do you do for a living?
I have my own business.
Doing what?
Resell clothing, audio production.
How much money do you make a month?
I can't tell you, but it pays the bills.
You're very cryptic in all of your answers, and not only that, but you going to Austin, if you represent yourself, you're going to have to meet with the DAs on a constant basis to get evidence. So that's going to require you to come here to Houston quite a bit.
I was ready to file my motion today if I needed to be.
Okay. Before I do that, though, I need to have a Faretta hearing. If you're willing to wait, we can do that a little bit later when I take a break in trial.
I had my other case upstairs the same day. The judge from when I came to my last year. Have you been up
there yet?
No, I haven't been up there yet.
Okay, so go up there. When you're done, come back down here. Don't forget to come back. If you don't come back, I'm going to issue a warrant. Go take care of yourself upstairs and come back.
Ladies and gentlemen, today is one of those courtroom videos, the kind where the judge already knows exactly what's about to happen, and he is absolutely ready for it. We're talking sovereign citizen logic colliding head-on with a judge who has zero patience for word salad, fake legal theories, or imaginary jurisdictions. This is Judge Flair, a judge who doesn't just understand the law, but enjoys dismantling nonsense piece by piece. Our defendant walks in confident, self-represented, and fully convinced that federal paperwork, private property claims, and common law magic words exempt him from state criminal law. Spoiler alert, they don't. What makes this hearing special is the energy. The judge isn't confused. He isn't irritated. He's entertained, and that's the most dangerous.
So today is September 11th, 2024. It's approximately 12:25 p.m. We are now in Court 5. In front of me, I have Eaton Emitum, case number 2522688. Would you please identify yourself for purpose of the record?
Living man, Eaton Emitum.
Would you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? That you're going to tell the truth. That's it. Yes? Okay. State, would you identify?
On behalf of the state.
Okay. So the reason that we're putting this on the record now is Mr. Emitum has been charged with the offense of unlawful carrying of a weapon. The case is 40 days old. It appears that probable cause has already been found. I don't know if I did probable cause on this, or if I don't know if another judge did, because I don't remember Mr. Emitum, and I was out a week. Yeah, lollygagging. So let's just do it first.
On August 2nd, 2024, officers observed a car without a front license plate, changed lanes without a signal, and have expired registration as of March 2023. Upon approaching, officers smelled marijuana. PC search returned 4.17 grams and a loaded Smith & Wesson handgun. Additionally, there was a backpack with 3 checks that did not belong to him. Officer called Kumamoto, who said the checks were stolen from her restaurant on July 8th. When defendant broke the front window, went to the back where the checks were kept in the office, broke the hinge of the back door, and exited.
So as a result, because of that, he was charged with felony fraud on that one, on the check. Okay. Yes, he has an open case in the 182nd. Looks like he made a $15,000 bond. With us, I am going to find there's probable cause to go forward. Well, hold on a second. We'll get there. I'll let you say your piece, but do you have a Texas driver license?
I have a US dot private property number with the FMCSA. What my vehicle was on there, it was sticker tags, everything with my business, the Amazon Estates. That's with the Department of Transportation.
Is that from the state of Texas or from where?
This is federal. This is with the Department of Transportation.
Okay, no, but you still need a Texas driver license and you need registration and
I did
on a
all my steps
vehicle.
with them because it was private property that I had. They said I didn't, if I didn't need to get registration with the state of Texas because I registered it. And they said that would be my volunteer, but since it's private property, I wouldn't have to register it.
Okay. From what I know of the law, you need a Texas driver license to be able to drive.
This is, what jurisdiction is this case being tried on? That's what I'm trying to, because I'm kind of don't know what it's being tried on.
It's
Criminal, civil? Or-
criminal, yeah,
or
right?
is it-
You're facing jail time, right?
I believe so. But
Weren't you taken to jail?
yeah,
So that wouldn't,
This is where the warning lights start flashing. Anytime a defendant confidently announces that they've represented themselves many times, judges immediately start probing, not because self-representation is illegal, but because it's often catastrophic. The court isn't impressed by claimed past dismissals, it wants specifics. Notice how quickly the story gets fuzzy. He claims dismissals, then admits a judge found no probable cause, then backtracks, then tries to take credit for it anyway. That inconsistency matters. Courts care about facts, not vibes. And when a defendant can't clearly explain their own history, it undermines their credibility before the case even starts. This exchange isn't about ego, it's about competence. And right now, the judge is already testing whether this defendant understands the difference between luck and
Texas driver license. That's it. You either have one or you don't. The federal government has regulated to the states through the Constitution that they have allowed the states on their own initiative to create laws regarding driving on highways and byways. So that's why you see every single state has different requirements for licensing, insurance, mode of transportation. The federal government has somewhat to do with it, but by and large, they have delegated to the states that they are their own entity with regard to creating laws in their specific highways. So that's why every single state has a different type of license, different type of insurance. Like the Texas driver license is white versus Arkansas might be yellow or red, or Hawaii might be. So that's every single state has their own laws with regard. In Texas, you have to have a Texas driver license. You also have to have liability insurance as a minimum in the event that you get into an accident. Those are the two main requirements that you need to drive. If you're going to drive a vehicle, it also has to be registered so that they know that you're driving the vehicle and that you own it or have the right to have that, so it's not a stolen vehicle.
I own the vehicle and everything. When I was here the last hearing with the judge, like what he was saying, he said that when it had applied to me, but he was going to see what they were going to say about the other court, about the probable cause of stopping me, because he said registration when it had in the front license plate, when it had applied to me.
It does apply. It applies to everybody. Everybody has to have a back license plate. They also have to have a front license plate. And so much, they also tell you where it has to be on the car. They regulate, you can't put it in the windshield.
State, right?
State,
Yeah.
right. They tell you where it has to be. You can't put it on the windshield. You can't put it on, like on, what's it called? On the light. It's got to be right there. They even tell you how many centimeters it's supposed to be from the street to the actual place on the car. That's how bad the state of Texas micromanages all these things. They even tell you how many damn centimeters it's got to be on the car. So you have to have a front license plate. You got to have a license, got to have insurance. So if you don't have that, you can't drive. And that's it.
Yeah, I stated to him I was traveling. I wasn't arguing with him, but I was traveling. I wasn't making commerce. I used to do medical transportation, so I'm kind of aware with licensing and registration and everything. That's why with my private vehicles, I did that with the US DOT instead of the state. And I didn't know that was
Correct. You
interference. They
you
said,
need a license. It doesn't matter whether you're saying you're conveying, whether you're traveling, whether you're, you know, driving. It's a privilege. It's not a right, right? There's a big difference between a privilege versus a right. You have the right to
I
walk.
have the right to travel, don't I?
Yeah, and taking your happy-go-lucky feet. You want to travel?
This analogy is brutal and completely accurate. Judges use comparisons like brain surgery for a reason, to strip away the fantasy that doing your own research is the same as professional training. The law isn't intuitive. It's procedural, technical, and unforgiving. What makes this moment powerful is that the judge isn't insulting him, he's warning him. This is the court saying, asterisk, you are about to hurt yourself, and I want this on the record. Asterisk, that matters later. When defendants insist on going pro se, judges must ensure they knowingly accept the risk, and here's the irony. Sovereign citizens always claim superior legal knowledge, yet they recoil when judges ask basic education.
That you get into an accident, right? And you kill a 5-year-old kid. What's going to happen at that point? Whoever owns that car, the other people, they're going to come after you. They're not going to go after they're going to come after you. The first thing they're going to do is, do you have insurance? And if you don't have insurance, they're going to sue you. And then they're going to attach a lien on absolutely everything that you own to satisfy the judgment they get against you. And they will take your house, they will take your car, they will take your bank account, they will attach to where if you ever want to start working and get a paycheck, they're going to garnish all that money. You have insurance, liability insurance, so that if you ever get into an accident, you don't mean to do it. You didn't mean to kill the kid. It's not an purposement. It's an accident. And accidents happen. You might be looking at your phone, you're looking at, this pretty girl that's walking across the street, and then boom, you have insurance so that if that happens, the insurance company will pay on your behalf so you don't have to pay out of your own pocket. And they will even give you a lawyer to represent you on your behalf because that's what you pay for when you get insurance. If you get into an accident, lawyers usually call you and say, hey man, tell me what happened. Was it your fault? Or was it the other people's fault? Because we want to know who to pay. And that's why for $30 to $40 a month, you get insurance for that very purpose. And I've seen people come here, they have killed someone and they get a $250,000 judgment against them. I've seen it. And God, you'll never dig yourself out of that. So the conveying, this, that, you need a license. You've got to have insurance. And we do it with every single person that comes here.
Can I say for the unlawful carry? The possession of marijuana, the person that was in the vehicle told the officer it was legal hemp that they got from the store. They have receipts and everything in Texas. You can have legal hemp. They got it from the store. He even told the officer it was theirs. He pulled me out the car. He didn't ask for any paperwork.
Now you're making the apples and oranges, right? Now we got to test it. Is it weed?
Oh yeah,
Is it hemp?
That's it.
Understand that takes time, but you also need a lawyer to represent you.
I found my own discovery. I was representing myself pro se.
And you can do that if you want.
Yeah.
But we have to go through a series of questions.
I represented myself plenty of times. I had dismissals here from Harris County.
And for purposes of the record, so Mr. Emitom had a case with me here. It was actually June 7th of 2022. He was charged with another gun case. And that was with Victoriano. God, that was a great DA too. And I found no probable cause in that case, right? So you didn't represent yourself in that case. I found no probable cause and they dismissed it. They didn't have to dismiss it, but they did dismiss it. So other than that case, have you ever represented yourself?
Yeah, many times. I have dismissals all through here from Harris County. Traffic violations.
You're welcome to do it, and who's one of the worst, who's one of the best presidents that in history that you can think about right now?
This is one of the most underrated judicial tactics, reality. The judge shifts away from ideology and hits logistics. If you represent yourself, you don't just argue in court, You meet prosecutors, review discovery, file motions, appear repeatedly. That means travel, time, and discipline. Notice how the defendant wanted to file motions today, but hadn't done the required groundwork. Courts don't operate on spontaneity. They operate on process. Judges know that many self-represented defendants romanticize the idea of standing up to the system without grasping the workload involved.
Objectively, meaning that you have your heart, you've got your soul into this case. So you may not be able to see from an outside position if they're saying something that makes sense. You're absolutely entitled to represent yourself. And if you want to do that, you're more than welcome to it. And I have no problem with you doing it. You need to understand, though, if you represent yourself, you can't come at a later day and say, you know what, I had ineffective assistance of counsel. My lawyer sucked. Well, you represented yourself. You now can't complain about that. You know, if you go to trial and you lose, and I end up putting your butt in jail for a year, you can't complain. You're stuck like Chuck for a whole year because that's what you're facing. You're facing a year in jail, and you got a bunch of other documents too that you know. So,
My discovery from that last month that I filed.
well, let's do the question. So, what is your full name?
Eton, she's Roque Amaton.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 34.
Where were you born?
In America.
Were you born here in Houston? Were you born in?
From Texas.
Okay. You read and write English, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any learning disabilities or communication handicaps? Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent or treated for any mental health disorder? Okay. You said last time I asked you about your educational background.
This is critical context for viewers. A Faretta hearing isn't about intelligence, it's about knowing what you're giving up. The court must ensure the defendant understands the charges, potential penalties, procedural rules, and the disadvantages of self-representation. Judges take these hearings seriously because once a defendant waives counsel, appeals become much